Hey guys, Cameron with CBM Reviews here, and I tried to get this out a little bit earlier, but circumstances being what they are, I couldn't get to it, but I do have a review for you today. This is the review of Batman: Soul of the Dragon. This movie was directed by Sam Liu, and it stars David Giantoli, Mark Dacascos, Kelly Hu, and Michael Jai White. I'm going to tell you the story without trying to spoil too much, the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, my overall synopsis with the score, so you definitely don't want to miss this. Before we get into it, I want to thank you for clicking on this video. It means a whole lot to me. If you could click that like button, it raises the visibility of this video. Also, if you're a fan of comic book movie reviews, maybe even TV show reviews, click that subscribe button. And last but certainly not least, if you want to know as soon as I upload anything, hit that notification bell. You'll know as soon as I post. Batman: Soul of the Dragon is an Elseworlds tale. It does not follow any kind of Batman canon whatsoever. It depicts Bruce Wayne as an adult in the swinging 70s, and it is definitely influenced by the karate and kung fu movies. You can tell from the vehicles to the clothing that the characters wear to the music that's in this. It definitely screams the 70s. Normally, this is the part in the video where I say, this is a telling about Bruce Wayne and he's Batman and blah, 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 but not this time. This is a story about Richard Dragon, who is a former pupil of O-Sensei. Bruce Wayne was also a pupil, and he finds out that a certain particular somebody is in control of an artifact called the Gate. And it is up to him to try to figure out where it is and to stop this person because it could unleash a horrible evil upon the world. In doing so, he gets, or rather enlists the help of Bruce Wayne, as well as other former pupils, Shiva and Ben Turner. Without spoiling anything, that's pretty much this story in the nuts and bolts of it. So what did I like about it? Well, I will say this. It's fun. It definitely does not take itself too seriously. And as long as you don't put the super seriousness of Batman that we've seen in recent times along with this one, you get along just fine. Now, that's not saying that Batman isn't serious in this movie, but for the most part, this story is not to be taken seriously. This has that hokey 70s kung fu karate movie to it, as well as some mysticism to go along with it, so there's that. Richard Dragon is really the main character in this, and so the title is somewhat misleading. And Richard Dragon is, for all intents and purposes, your Bruce Lee of this movie. From the very beginning of this movie to the end, it revolves around his story. Even though the first person that he teams up with is Bruce Wayne, this is by no means a Batman / Bruce Wayne movie. It's just Batman's more popular. Also in this is Shiva. Now, Shiva is the deadliest woman in the world and possibly the best hand-to-hand fighter. They definitely make this apparent in several scenes. I think that Shiva was the best character overall, and not to say that she didn't get enough screen time, but we probably could have done with one more fight with her to really show how amazing she was. Then you got Ben Turner, who is Bronze Tiger, or that's the name that he's given by the enemy faction in this movie. And he's good, he's all right, but there's something that they should have done, and I'm going to talk about that in the parts that I dislike, which there are going to be quite a few. First off and foremost, the things that I did not like about this movie isn't even 90 minutes long. And in order to watch it right now, you need to buy it or rent it. Now, I went through Amazon Prime, and that was $20 to buy a movie that's not even 90 minutes. And I felt like I didn't get my money's worth. Now, that has nothing to do with the actual movie or the story. That just has to do with we're in a recession. I feel like and here's the crazy part. There are other movies that have come out, other animated movies that have come out that are like $20 to buy. And I feel like the stories that they had to tell helped out with me, disassociating this cost me money, but this one was hard not getting an hour and a half worth. Another thing that kind of like made me go, really, was the fact that this movie is rated R. Why? It's not because of language. And I mean, the violence there, it's not superfluous. Like, Are there limbs that get chopped off? A few, but it's not like Kill Bill Volume 1, where it's a pile of limbs in a room. It's not that bad. And so R was pushing it. PG-13 at best, in all honesty. Like, they don't even throw around that many S-bombs. There's not a single F-bomb in this whole thing. So the rating kind of threw me off. Another thing, and this is something that I've mentioned, that this is called Batman Soul of the Dragon. This does not revolve around Batman. Batman is more popular, so they put his name at the beginning of it. They should have put Richard Dragon, you know, Soul of the Dragon, or something else. And I don't mind that it revolved around Richard, but then let us know what kind of movie we're getting into. Don't tout that, you know, Batman's the central character. And speaking of Batman, he's barely in this. He's in 2 scenes. One kind of end of Act 1 scene, and then at the very end, he's Batman. The fact that he is Batman makes almost no difference in the story whatsoever. It could have been Zorro. It could have been just any old masked man. It could have been the Scarlet Pimpernel. It doesn't matter that Batman is in this, because Batman the entity doesn't change the main flow of the story. That's a problem if Batman is the title of your movie. And this is just a personal nitpick. They had Michael Jai White play Ben Turner, Bronze Tiger, and he was taking down this organization as they explained it in the movie. I wish that they would have drawn on the fact that he played Black Dynamite in the live action movie as well as the cartoon, because Batman meets Black Dynamite is just too good not to use. Another issue that I had, and this is where we're getting more technical on things, is that I wish that the animation was more fluid. This is a movie that definitely delves into kung fu and martial arts and things of that nature, and you can tell Bruce Timm's influence in the animation of this, but I feel like there weren't enough in between frames. In order for things to seem like a character is fast and is fluid and is powerful in his moves, there are scenes where they speed up the animation, but that doesn't mean that they put extra frames in there to make it feel more fluid. It just looks sped up. And alternatively, I wish they would have put in a lot more frames instead of like the 23 or 24 per second. I wish they would have done more like 48. That would have been double the amount of work, but it would have looked so much cleaner. Even the opening credits, which have silhouettes of the 4 characters doing various fighting, even those could have used a lot more in between, so it looks choppy. That's why I feel salty about my 20 bucks. Overall, the movie's fine. The movie's okay. The movie is not worth dropping $20 to watch right this instant. You can wait. It's gonna drop on HBO Max. Death in the Family, which came out 3 months ago, is on HBO Max. If you really want to watch this, if you're a big fan of kung fu movies and things like that, wait for it to be released on HBO Max if you have it. And then you can watch that way. Or wait until it's available for rent at a much lower price than this, because it's not worth the max price tag on this. So I had fun. I understood that this character wasn't the canonical Batman, and that's okay. But between all of the issues that I had with the shorter story, with the fact that Batman wasn't really integral to the story, and then other animation issues and things like that, this wasn't Sam Liu's best outing. As far as the score, gotta give it a 55. The story's fine, it's simplistic, it doesn't really do too much, but it also doesn't surprise. If you are paying attention, you'll see some things going on. You'll put 2 and 2 together. The fight scenes, whereas they're somewhat entertaining, the bad guys that are fighting don't get enough of a build-up or screen time, and then whenever some of them do get beaten, it really doesn't make you feel like something was accomplished of merit. And it's fun enough for me not to give it less than a 50, but with the animation looking like it cut corners, and with the fact of the matter is that they named this after the wrong main character, you can wait. It's not something you gotta watch this second. So that's my review of Batman Meets Black Dynamite. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends. As always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.